Welcome to episode number 98 of the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media and presented to you by our good friends over at SeatGeek. Stepping into the box, or I should say, I guess, out of the bullpen today, our good friend Amir Garrett, who, if I had talked to him, I don't know, about 9 days ago or so, he would have been Cincinnati Reds reliever Amir Garrett. But now that I've gotten him traded, he is Kansas City Royals reliever Amir Garrett. Do you still blame me for the trade?
Man, I think I have to, thank you for the trade, actually. I appreciate that. We're in a better, I wouldn't say a better environment, better team, better situation for me, so I would want to thank you for that. Cincinnati is my boys, but what they were doing over there, I mean, that's on them and what the direction they were going. That's fine. But, I feel I'm in a great situation for me. So I have to say thank you, Chris. You're
welcome. Yeah. For people who weren't following along at the John Boy Media compound over the weekend, we had a lot of players roll through. So like on Sunday, we had Matt Olson and Matt Chapman and Chad Pinder. 2 of those 3 got traded. Then on Monday, I went and visited Reds camp and I said hi to Jonathan India and then Jesse Winker. And literally 15 minutes after I said hi to Winker, he gets traded. Then you roll through the house on Tuesday night. And on Wednesday morning, you got traded and you sent me a text and you were like, yo, dog, does everybody who you talk to get traded?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy how that worked out. And I didn't realize like Olsen and stuff like that and Chapman, like now I'm like, dang, like Chris, like what's up, man?
Yeah, serious. Well, it's funny because I don't know if you had a chance to meet Joe's McFly, one of the guys at our house. Yeah, great dude. And so, he was shaking hands with everybody. And because his name is Joe's, we end up calling him Trader Joe's. So
Trader Joe's, that's a good one too.
It's not bad. When you do get dealt, because you grew up in the Reds organization, they drafted you, they developed you, they're the team that brought you to the bigs. Was it shock, pain, sadness? What were the emotions?
It was a little bit of everything. But I wasn't surprised though, because I didn't pitch well last year, and I knew that they're possibly looking to get rid of me, and that's fine. But after they got rid of Winker, like I knew it was fair game. Like anybody's gone. Like, you know what I mean? But I was sad because that's all I knew since 2011. And that organization was very gracious to what I wanted to do. I wanted to play basketball, and they're like, hey, take your time and stuff like that. And the relationships I gained from that organization, it was just like second to none. So, that was very emotional for me, from the writers to everybody that worked at the stadium, whoever that I've come across. And, it was it was tough to go, but, it was time, so I'm like I said, I'm happy where I'm at now. So, that's all that matters.
I guess the good news is that you didn't have to go far, at least in terms of spring training sites, just a few miles away from Goodyear, Arizona, out to Surprise, Arizona. When you get there, have they talked to you about what your role is going to be?
I'm going to be in the back of the bullpen. Matheny, obviously he was with the Cardinals when I was coming up and stuff like that. So he's seen me pitch a lot. And, I think me personally, I told him whatever you guys want to do, I'm very open to anything. And he's like, no, you're going to be in the back of the bullpen. I've seen what you can do. I know that last year was like a fluke. So, you know what I mean? I'm going to be in my normal role, I think. And, but whatever they need, I can do whatever, you know what I mean? So I'm not really worried about that. Everything is a play out for itself.
Good. I do want to focus on, where you're going instead of where you've been. But I do have to ask you, because in 2020, it felt like the Reds were really close.
Yeah.
Okay. And then things didn't go the way they probably should have a year ago. And then they started stripping the team apart, right? Castellanos walks. They trade Sonny Gray. Winker and Suarez get there. Then it's you. Was there a little bit of a feeling in the clubhouse like, Buck, can we get some backing from ownership here?
I mean, that's above my pay grade. whatever they do, like,
Yeah, but you have emotions, Amir.
Yeah, we have emotions, but like, obviously, like, we have no control over any of that as players. We have no control. And I felt, as long as well as a lot of players, like, we were so close. We weren't far off. We were not far off. I don't know how many games did we win? 80 something, close to 90 last year. Like, we were very close in, going into the off season, and I talked to a lot of guys and we're like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And then it's like the team just dismantles. Like, but that's a conversation for somebody else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have no idea, no clue what they're thinking. And I thought we were right there. I know a lot of other players thought we were right there, one or two players off, maybe. And, it was just like, see you later. And then, it sucks because I wanted to see it through with Cincinnati. And who knows? They may as well win with that team. We don't know. You know what I mean? But I know the team that we had was a really good team. Like I said, I wish them the best of luck over there. And I hope they do it. And, they prove everyone wrong. But the team that we had, we were right there.
Yep. For you mentioned the basketball thing, because not everybody, I think most people know that you went to St. John's, went there on a hoop scholarship, drafted by the Reds. Like, you played Little League as a kid, and then did it disappear for a while? Is that what happened with baseball?
I mean, I was just like on and off. So I played with Bryce Harper. We were on the same team, Legion team. I played against Chris Bryant and stuff like that, Joey Gallo and stuff like that. It was like I was always like dabbling until I was full-time baseball until I committed to basketball. Then it was like play baseball here, like play baseball this weekend, or go and pitch like, today or whatever. Like that's how it was for me. But, once I found basketball, like baseball was not even a thought to me. Like, my dad literally had to like grab me by the ear and was like, son, like, you're going to play baseball and you're going to go and pitch. And I'm like, Dad, I don't want to. I found basketball. I want to play basketball. And he's like, no, you're going to go play baseball because I know you're going to be a big league pitcher one day. And we're going to go and do this. I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. But, Dad was pulling me to go play baseball. So, that's one of the main reasons why I did it. I did it for my dad. And I give him a lot of credit to my career. He was right.
So did you get drafted before you went to St. John's, or you went to St. John's first and then got drafted by the Reds?
So going through high school, playing basketball, like the last time I played baseball, like real baseball, was probably my junior year. I played like the Tournament of Stars, possibly making the USA team. And I made the second cut and I left to go play basketball. I was like, I'm out of here. To call my coach, hey coach, I'm gone. And I actually went to NBA camp from North Carolina to Virginia. And I made the second cut and I didn't tell my dad. And he was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm out, Dad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gone. Like, I don't want to play baseball no more. And it's funny because I actually faced Jesse Winker there, and Carlos Rodon actually let me use his glove to pitch in a game that day. And I called my dad. I'm like, yeah, I'm in Virginia at NBA camp. And he's like, what? Like, I didn't know that. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm out here. I don't want to play baseball no more, Dad. Like, it's over. But I was always like, like, so my junior year, I was trying to play baseball, and it was like, we didn't have a team really. And it's like, all right, I'll pitch like 1 or 2 games, and then I'll play first base or whatever and hit.
This was in high school?
It was in high school.
Okay.
And then, I was playing basketball, and in my junior year, I was playing at Losinger High School. Russell Westbrook came out there, DeLon Wright, Darrell Wright, like those are just big names that, that people might know. And I went to Finlay Prep, and, I played with the number 1 draft pick in 2013, Anthony Bennett. He was off the bench. Mike Kabongo, Nick Johnson, Nigel Williams-Goss, like Niles, all these guys, and I established myself as a top, 100 basketball recruit. That's a nice photo, baby. I love that.
Yeah. For people that are just audio only, do yourself a favor, go check this out on our YouTube channel. because this is a dunk. How old are you right here?
I'm maybe just turned 18, maybe.
The best part is that your boy is pointing and laughing in the guy's
You know what's
face.
funny? That guy, I think he went to Washington, and he told me we're eating one day. We're eating the day before, and he's like, Amir, I jump higher. And I was like, all right, you don't. He was like, you'll never. He was like, if you try to go the hold on me, I'll block you. I was like, no, you won't. And I dunked on him the next day. The next day I dunked on him, and I was like, I looked at him. All I did was give him a pat on the back. I was like, hey, get champ. But Chris, the going back to your point, yes, I got drafted out of high school, and I was already committed to St. John's though my senior year. But I committed in November, I think, and then I went the next year and like going over the next year, I worked out and stuff like that, and I got drafted that June. So it's like, all right, I got drafted 22nd round. I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like when I got drafted, on the day I got drafted, I was taking a nap, and my dad was like, "Oh, son, you got drafted." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." Like, Dad's like, perfect. Like, and he's like 22nd round. I'm like, all right, like whatever. Cause I don't know. Like I didn't know like baseball, you know what I mean? I'm like, cool, whatever. I'm like 22nd round. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm going to college straight. I'm going straight to play basketball. And, you know, we called, negotiated him, was like, we're going to give you $1 million. And I'm like, all right, well, my dad was like, if you're going to give him $1 million, he's still going to play basketball, or you give him more and he plays just baseball.
I
So
like
I'm like,
Pops. I like
my
what
dad,
Pops
my
is
dad,
thinking.
my dad, you know, his first time going through this, and my dad, you know, he's thinking, he was like, you either give us what we want and he plays
Right.
full-time baseball, or you give him, or he takes the $1 million and he still goes to play basketball. So they were like, all right, well, we'll give him the $1 million and let him go play basketball. And my dad's like, all right, that's a win-win. All right, go ahead, son, sign right here, get $1 million and go play basketball. And that's why I said I'm so grateful for the Reds organization, because they made an investment. You know, $1 million is a lot of money. And for me to go play basketball, like, why would you do that to somebody? If you invest in that much, why would you allow them to go play basketball, and they can get hurt any moment?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like, I was like, yeah, I'm going to play college basketball. I'm going to play minor league baseball. Like, there's a no-brainer to that. Like, let's do it. You know what I mean?
So you played your freshman year at St. John's. Then you went and played baseball during the summer somewhere?
Yeah. So I had to report June 12th of every year for at least 6 years, because that's your contract. For at least six years, I would have to report on June 12th, or I would go earlier, obviously, because we were done with basketball.
So when did you realize that, like, yeah, baseball is going to be my thing and it's not going to be hoops? Because you were a top 100 hoops player coming out of high school.
So I tell everybody, they ask me if they're like, could you have went to the NBA? I say, yes, I could have went to the NBA if I did not get drafted in baseball. Like, if I had that same fire in me, like, you know, if I had to make it to take care of my family, if I had to, like, you know what I mean? If I didn't get $1 million and I had to do something to take care of me and my family, I would have definitely went to the NBA, because the hunger would have been that much more inside of me. But when I got to college, you know, I was kind of a role player, which is fine. Like, I was just like, you know, there on the court, you know, averaging like 6 points, 5 rebounds, whatever. And then, you know, 2014, when I pitched in low A. So 2011, I got drafted. I pitched like 2012, like 10 innings or whatever. I don't know, you guys look this up, maybe 10 to 20 innings. And then 2013, excuse me, I pitched like 40 or 50 innings. So I really didn't get anything, because I had to go back to basketball. And then 2015 is the first full season I ever had of baseball, from top to bottom, from spring training all the way to the end. You know what I mean? So it was like, I got put on the 40-man that year too. So it was like, after the end of my low A season, going into high A 2015, I started spring training all the way into the end of the season. And I was like, oh yeah, like, we got this. This is Kate. You know, I got MVP of that league, Florida State League. And I was like, yeah, I can actually go to the big leagues, you know. So it was after 2015, I was like, I'm this close. Like, I'm on my way. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna stop playing basketball. And at the time, I actually transferred to Northridge, where Reggie Theus was the head coach. And I'm grateful for him too, because he's like, Amir, you know, when I had to tell him, I was like, Coach, I'm not coming back. Like, he literally almost broke down crying, because he's like, man, you know, I'm so happy because like I know, like as an athlete, I know like what you're going through. Like, this isn't like a you know, I know what you're going through, like a lot of emotions. He was like, I just want you to do what's best for you and your family, and I support everything you do. So, you know, Amir, like, go ahead and do your thing. I'll see you on that TV. And it's crazy because Reggie Theus used to come out to my minor league baseball games when he was recruiting me too. So big ups to him.
For people that don't know who Reggie Theus is, YouTube his highlights. He was a bad boy. He was an all-star.
If they don't know who Reggie Theus is and they watch basketball or anything, I can't talk to you.
Well, I'm just saying. I
do.
It's 35 years ago. I'm just telling you. Reggie Theus was a bad man with the Chicago Bulls and the Sacramento Kings, and he was a part of the original cast of the Best Damn Sports Show, period. People don't know that.
He was. Yeah, I call him Pretty Boy. He'll get mad to this day, and he'll be like, nah, Amir, like, he'll like, I'll fight you for that. If you call me a Pretty Boy one more time, I always call him Pretty Boy.
Dude, he had some good stories for us back in the day. I just want to let you know. All right, so you said you got put on the 40-man in 2015, and I know Votto is a huge hoop head. Yeah. He loves it. Yeah. So did he know your story?
Joey's like really like to himself, and I kind of like explained it to him like maybe like a couple of years ago. So, and this is like really like him, like, you know, because he's really focused on his career and stuff like that. And you know, Joey's an interesting dude. So I told him, he's like really, like, you play college basketball? So I probably 17, 18, you know what I mean? Because I'm on the team and being around him. So I got to tell him my story in 2018. He was like, that's pretty cool. Because, you know, Joey loves basketball. Loves it. So, you know, I got to share my story with him, and he was like, that's pretty awesome.
I heard he could dunk. Is that true?
Yes, I am living proof of that. He can dunk. And Joey is really good at basketball. He's really good. He's not good like me good, but he's really good. And I always tell people all the time, they're like, Amir, like, let's play basketball one-on-one or whatever. I'm like, hey man, like, play Joey first. If you can play Joey and you can hang with him, then maybe you can, you know, play me. I'll give you a chance to play me. But yeah, he's really good. He got a nice little shot, and he can jump a little bit too. He can really jump.
You know, it's kind of like a video game. Like, you got to work your way up to different levels. So there's the Votto level, and then at the top of the mountain, there's the Amir Garrett level. So
yeah, but it's like, will I even entertain that? Like, if you can hang with Joey, you know what I mean? Maybe I'll give you a shot. But like, that's why I tell everybody first, like, play Joey first, and then let's see what happens.
Who wanted to take you on the team? That
when I was at the Reds, Jeff Hoffman used to always talk mess, like, oh yeah, I was like, you have no shot, like, you have zero chance of beating me. And it's like every like person that's tried, or, you know, they never succeeded at all.
You still tight with Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, I am. I haven't talked to him in a while, but yeah, that's my boy.
Anybody else in the NBA that's tight with anybody?
DeLon Wright, you know.
Yeah.
I'm close with John Wall, you know. Ooh. Maurice Harkless. You know, I got a lot of PJ Washington. I got a lot of dudes that are NBA that are my friends, man. Like, I'm very grateful for that. Like, you know, those relationships that I established, and you know, I know a lot of people, man. It's pretty awesome.
I'm curious about what your thoughts about Westbrook, because he's a real polarizing guy, right?
Yeah.
I love watching him because I never feel cheated watching him. Like, he goes hard every time, but he's got a short fuse, right? And one of the interesting things is this year out in Los Angeles, you know, people can't stand him, right? Brought in, hired gun by LeBron. It's not working out. And then people have been calling him Westbrick. And then he kind of fought back. And he's like, you know, my kids have got to hear that. It's not a bad name. It's whatever. It's a little sophomore-ish and stuff. Where do you sit as a professional athlete in terms of like what's fair and what's not? Because there's a lot of stuff that's out of bounds. But Westbrick doesn't sound that it might be childish, but it's not terrible, right?
Yeah, but did you hear about the story of like his son going to school and telling the teacher, like, my name is, you know, Westbrook, like my last name is Westbrook. And then I feel like when you go to the games and as a kid, like his son is like really little, and he's like, people are yelling Russell Westbrook, and he's like, he probably go, Dad, why are they calling you that? Or Mom,
Right.
why are they calling Dad that? Like, I feel like, it sucks, but as athletes, we have to deal with that. And then you have to explain to your son, like, don't listen to those people, like, whatever. But it's a tough situation to be in for sure. You know what I mean? Him being in LA, I feel like there's a lot of pressure for him because that's where he's from and stuff like that. But the person off the court, the person on the court, like, he's just a phenomenal dude. Like, he's a phenomenal dude. And like you said, he goes hard. Like, it's 100% or nothing at all. Like, you know what I mean? And people don't understand that, like, he's given his all to, he's the top 75 player in the NBA ever.
Yep.
Like, ever. You know what I mean? And he's going to play balls to the wall. That's just how Russell plays. You know what I mean? And people, I mean, I know it is what it is this year with the Lakers and stuff like that. He's not getting the results he wants, but people should, value what he's done in the past. And it's like, they should value him as a player because it's like, he wants to win. You're not just like us in baseball. We're not out there throwing balls all the time on purpose. We're not out there trying to strike out on purpose. Like, you're giving everything you got. You know what I mean? And sometimes it just doesn't work out. You know what I mean? And as LA fans, or as fans in general, I think you should rock with your boys, man. And sometimes if you're a diehard fan, like, you got to live through the good and the bad. So, I feel they need to, they got to rock with Russell to the end, man, until he's not there anymore. That's just my opinion, though. That's just my opinion.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because, and you mentioned it at the beginning of this chat that we've had. Last year was not good, dude. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
How did you deal with it, with the struggles?
I mean, I'm a realist, so it's like, if I don't pitch good, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna look myself in the mirror and be like, dude, you suck today. Like, there's no silver lining in, you just gave a 3-run homer and then you were like, it was just one pitch away. Like, for me, that's not anything in my vocabulary. You know what I mean? I gave up 3 runs. It's like, yeah, you pitch bad. You know what I mean? And you go in there and pitch coach is like, man, it was one pitch. No, it was the whole at bat. Like, it was the whole like inning. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gave up 3 runs. And I felt like I handled it pretty well, but when it starts to come like in waves, like at your family, death threats and stuff like that, like, that really bothered me.
You were getting those?
I was getting those. And, my daughter was, she wasn't born yet. And my wife was getting like slander in her messages and stuff like that. And that's why I deleted my Twitter, because it's like, I had to protect my mental state, because I'm getting messages from people like, oh yeah, like, just like, your daughter's gonna be ashamed when she's born, or like, your wife should be ashamed, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, I would like write out messages like, all right, man, like, you're so tough, like, come and meet me here, like, let's see how tough you are. And I would just delete it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why am I feeding into this? And it's like, I got to a point, I was like, I had to get off social media. But then now they were attacking my wife, and it was bothering her. I would come home, she's crying. I'm like, what are you crying about? Like, she's like, no, nothing. Like, she's strong. She's like, no, nothing. Like, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's not okay. Like, when it gets to that point, it's not okay. I can handle any slander, anything. Amir, you suck today. Like, whatever. Way to give up a 3-run home run, whatever. I can handle that. Like, that's cool. But when it comes to the death threats, or you coming after my wife or my unborn child, like, that's a line that can't be crossed. Like, it can't be.
So how did you handle it with your wife? Like, because that's not easy, dude.
It's not easy because, your wife is, upset, your wife wants to protect you and stuff like that. So it's just like, don't worry about it, babe. We'll get through it. Like, you know what I mean? You talk to her like that. And it's like these people are just trolling, it's not really serious. And then I try to, be there for her as much as I could, you know what I mean? And try to comfort her. But, sometimes it just got way out of hand. And people that act like that, like, I feel like, even I used to tell kids, like, I used to get like bad DMs from kids, like, 13, 14 years old, Chris. And it's like, I would look at their profile. I'm like, oh, you have aspirations one day to be a baseball player. Like I see your profile picture. Like you guys, like, come on now. Like, why are you saying this stuff? If I screenshotted this and held on to it forever, and if I remember to go back and I seen that you were a minor league baseball player, a professional or MLB baseball player, I can literally give this to somebody and it could ruin your career, right? But I feel like people are not taught or raised the right way, and it's like you're not raised to like respect people. Because me as a when I was a kid, like we didn't have social media back then, but I'm not going to out my way to be like, hey, you suck. Like I would have got popped in the mouth. Like, you know what I mean? Like I would have been like, my mom or my dad would be like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? But nowadays it's different now, you know.
It is different.
I don't know.
I'll just tell you this as the father of two boys that are 21 and 16, we talk a lot. We've talked forever about social media responsibility because it is easy to hide behind your phone or your keyboard or wherever you're sending it from, because you would never say it to somebody's face. You just would never. You would never do it. So it's not okay to send it that way. And by the way, I appreciate you sharing that because I know that's not easy and it's not a comfortable thing to talk about, but it's an important thing for our viewers and our consumers to hear. So
yeah, and like I said, I want to help the next generation of, you know, young kids. You know, I do a lot of like stuff in the off season. I talk to kids. And I'm like, I tell them about social media, like, be careful what you say at this age. You can be 13, 14, 15. Be careful, because if somebody had malicious intent, they can hold on to that. And if they realize like, oh yeah, this person wrote me and like, oh, that name sounds familiar, they can ruin your life with that. And I tell kids all the time, like, hey guys, come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't write stuff like that, or even adults. Like, I remember I had a teammate. I'm not gonna mention his name, but he had some guy wrote to him and was like saying some racial slurs, and he blasted him on Instagram. The guy got fired from his job. He wrote him, "Oh, you got me fired from my job. Like, how could you do that? Like, bro, you did that to yourself.
You got fired from your job.
You got fired from your job. Your job didn't know that's what kind of person you were. Like, that's on you. That's on you. And all he did was bring it to light. So, you know, that's your fault. That's not his. You know what I mean? Like, people need to be held accountable. And, you know, I wouldn't do that, but, you know, some people would. So, you know, it is what it is.
So you probably saw a lot of the content we had out at the John Boy Media compound in Arizona. One of the really fun things we got to do was courtesy of Topps, the Topps Bunt 22 app. It is here. It's an area where you can collect and trade your favorite players from across the league, both past and present, with baseball fans from all around the globe. So Bunt 22, it features new starter sets and unique chance to collect top Series 1 baseball cards in the app. It's very simple. For more information, download the free Topps Bunt app by clicking in the link at the description or visiting the App Store or Google Play. I'll be waiting for you. Can we talk about something that'll make you smile?
Yeah, let's do it.
Your daughter.
I know you were about to bring that up. And my daughter is 8 months today, man.
Today?
She's 8 months today.
Oh my gosh. I heard her say dada on your Instagram the other day.
Chris, she said dada on the day that the lockout ended. So it was like the lockout's over and we're just hanging out there. She's like, dad, like jumping around in her jumper. And her favorite thing to do ever, oh my gosh, is my baby. And her favorite thing to do ever. And I'm like, what'd you say? She's like, dad. And I'm like, I'm losing my mind. I'm like, we got baseball back. My baby just said, dad. I'm crying everywhere. What the heck? So, yeah, look at my little nugget.
She is beautiful, man. She is just gorgeous.
She's long. She's big. You know, hopefully she's going to play golf or tennis. But obviously she can play whatever she wants. But
or do whatever she wants.
Yeah, she can do whatever she wants. But those are the two. That's
a great,
hilarious.
That's a great one.
For Halloween. Hey, that's so funny because, like, as a parent now, until my daughter is a certain age, I can do whatever I want. Like, dress her up in a Halloween costume. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just do these funny things with her. And it's like, yeah, you know, as a parent now, like, my mom and my dad used to do it with me. I'm just like, man, this is the most awesomest thing in the world, is being a parent.
So I'm curious, when you get traded over to Kansas City, they probably don't know much about you, right? Other league, they'll see you every few years in interleague play. And then people say, oh yeah, I remember him. He's the dude that fought an entire team. Does it bother you that people might still like that might be the main thing if they're not familiar with Amir Garrett?
I mean, that's fine. A lot of players ask me like what happened, and I
Right.
tell them like I keep it long story short. I say, listen, I'm a loyal person and I take pride in like people, doing stuff to our team. And I said, we're on the same team now. So I have your back forever. So just know that, like, nothing's going to happen. And if I don't like it, I'm going to do something. I'm going to say something. So, however they perceive me as that guy from 2019 that fought the Pirates, or, from being a stud lefty or whatever, like, it is what it is, man. Like,
Okay.
it is what it is. I don't have no problems with it.
You've had some really interesting teammates. We already talked about Votto. You
Yeah.
spent a short time with Yasiel Puig.
Yes.
Is he from another planet?
Puig he has a bad rep, of course, but he's probably one of the best teammates I've ever played with. He's very, very caring. When he first got traded to us, he invited me over to his house with hanging out with his kids, his mother, his whole family, and like and welcomed me into his house. We had dinner and stuff like that. But he's very misunderstood. And I feel like, guys coming from a Latin country or whatever, like, and the language barrier and stuff like that. I know what he's had in the past, but I've never had a bad encounter with him. And I've actually told him, when I first met him, I was like, hey, Puig, like, if you ever try something with me, like, we're going to fight, like, to the end right here. Like, I told him that. And since that day, he was like, no, I respect you. Like you're, like, we're teammates. But I just do that just for my own, like, because what I've known of him, like, hey, listen, if you ever try something with me, like, I'm not going down. We're both gonna end it right here, and we're gonna keep going. But he played hard every single day. He ground out hard 90. You know what I mean? And he was just misunderstood. That's just my opinion. And I wish that he was around in the big leagues today.
It was fun.
Yeah, he is fun, and he was a great teammate, and he was a tremendous outfielder. Just some stuff that you would not agree with, and obviously that it is what it is, but he's definitely a good ball player. He deserves to play in the big leagues 100%.
He also, I haven't seen very many baseball players that are built like him.
No. Yeah, Puig is funny. He would come in the gym, he'd be like, I'm Puig, like, and he would just crush some weights, and it's like what? Like, how are you doing this? Like, you know what I mean? He'd crush some food, come in and do some, like, he was just built different. Like, man, he was just, that's God given. Like, athletes like him come once in a while, and it's sad to see him not playing the game, especially in the MLB, because the game definitely, could benefit from him being in the MLB.
Is he the most interesting teammate you've ever had, or is there somebody that?
The most interesting teammate I've ever had is Bronson Arroyo by far.
Oh, good one.
Bronson was a good friend of mine. He still is a good friend of mine, a good teammate, a good person. He really took me under his wing when I was coming up in 2017. I still talk to him to this day. I still think he pays clubhouse dues till this day. I swear he pays the clubbies till this day, and that just speaks to the person he is. In 2019, when he was done, he'd be in the clubhouse cleaning cleats. Like, dude, you're not playing anymore. Why are you here? Why are you doing this?
Cleaning cleats. Some explanation. What are you talking about?
He'd be cleaning cleats with our clubbies, like cleaning cleats. With his shirt on that says Bronson on it, because the clubbies, like, he got them all these shirts, and they're all matching, and he'd be in there cleaning cleats, Chris, literally. And we're like, Bronson, what are you doing? He's like, I'm cleaning cleats. Like, I'm like, leave me alone. Like, I'm doing my thing. And he's a really good dude, and definitely the most interesting teammate I ever had. And Bronson likes to sing too. So when I played with him, he'd be in the bathroom, playing the guitar, seeing him before the game, an hour before, and I'm just like, what is going on right now? Like, what is going on? He's a great dude.
He could really sing. I
He
remember
can.
that.
He can really sing, like really sing.
You have an opportunity to put somebody at the top of the most interesting teammate list by the end of the year.
Okay.
Have you had a chance to say hi to Zack Greinke?
I have had a chance to say hi to him. I've played catch with him twice, and he doesn't talk very much. Like I literally like he's literally like said like 5 words to me. And it's like, hey Zach, you want to play catch? He's like, that's it. Like, yeah, like you know what I mean. But he's a great dude. I actually talked to him a lot today about like him hitting and stuff like that. And I'm very interested because the guys that were like, I don't think I would be friends with, I became friends, like really close friends with them. You know what I mean? So I was talking to Wade the other day, and I'm like, I think Greinke would be my friend. He's like, no shot. But I think I got him, and he will be my friend. 100%, he will be my friend by the end of this year.
There's an amazing column, I think it was done in The Athletic, probably 6 to 8 months ago, where all they did was interview like 50 of his former teammates, and it goes just line by line, just different stories. Like, the guy, I remember talking with AJ Ellis, the former Dodgers catcher.
Yeah.
Like, he would talk to you about fantasy football in between innings of his starts.
Yeah.
Like amazing stories about him.
Like, I mean, I've had teammates like that. Like Wade Miley was the same way. So I wouldn't doubt it. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely looking forward to playing with Zach. I've admired him from afar, and I was like, this is an interesting guy. So when we got him at the Royals, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to get to know this guy. I got to see what he's about. Like, I really want to know him.
Yeah, it'll be good. Yeah, Miley seemed interesting too. Like, it looks like he could go to sleep from November through February in a tree.
Let me tell you, I misjudged a lot of people. I really misjudged Miley. When he came over, I thought he's not gonna be my friend. He's not gonna talk to me. Like he looks like an older guy from the older school. Like, you know what I mean? And we became like really close friends, like really close. And Wade's a great dude. Like he helped me a lot. I say a lot of guys helped me a lot, like Bronson Arroyo, David Hernandez, Jared Hughes, but Wade has helped me a lot. Just relax, just be myself, because the story of when Wade threw the no-hitter. Like I've seen Wade come in for a baseball game and be lights out, and he stretches like, he does 5 minutes worth of stretch, or he's in there just playing cards before the game. Like, and he goes out there and shoves. Like, that stuff is unheard of, but that's just how Wade is. He doesn't stop talking. I thought I talked a lot, but Wade talks times 10 more than I do. You know what I mean? And he's just a great dude. He's a great dude, comes from a great family and everything. So I'm grateful for him.
I am grateful for you, and I appreciate your time. I got a few more things. When you went to St. John's, they have you fill out, for, the information stuff, like close with Amir Garrett. So they want to know some stuff like your nickname, and you wrote AG. Yeah. So I'm going to see if you can remember some of the stuff that you wrote.
Okay. All right, cool.
This is over a decade ago.
Yeah.
At the time, your favorite movie or TV show?
Transformers.
Oh my God. Still
Transformers, right? Transformers?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's my favorite. It's my favorite movie.
Favorite food?
Tacos.
Bingo. Favorite class?
Science?
Close.
What was it?
Science of the mind, psychology.
Psychology, yes. Same guy.
Favorite athlete, sports team?
I mean, I say Kobe.
No.
Sports team was Lakers? Oklahoma
City.
Okay,
Thunder.
And my favorite player was Russell, right?
Yeah, but you didn't write that. You just wrote the
Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay, all right. Okay, I got you.
I came to St. John's because
I love the city of New York
and the coaching staff.
And the coaching staff. Yeah, you got to say that. That's textbook. You got to say that.
Your boy Steve Lavin.
Steve Lavin is the man. Shout out to Steve. That's my guy to the end.
Dude, sweet slick back hair, man.
Slick back. And I get jealous because, anybody that talks about hair, like, I don't have no hair anymore, but
right.
It's just, I'm just like, man, you still got your hair. Like, come on, Lav. Like, dang, like you could have gave me some.
Dude, when he rolled into your house the first time, you're like, yeah, this is the guy I got to deal with. This is him.
My dad was talking about, he's just a smooth talking Steve Lavin. That's what my dad said. Smooth talking Steve Lavin, man. Like he's a great dude, though. He's a great dude.
Every year at UCLA when he was coaching there, their regular season was disappointing.
Yeah.
And then they'd roll into the tournament, like an 8 seed or whatever. And then they just steamroll and he'd win at least 3 games every tournament.
He had a way of
hang on to Lav.
Yeah. He had a way of getting like to players. Like, it's like, oh yeah, like you're here. Like, and then he would talk mess to you and get into your head. And like, it's like you tap into a level that you never had before. And it's like, that's what he would do with our team. And it was like, what is this guy? Some kind of magician or what? I don't know.
One other thing that you wrote on here. What was the craziest thing you had ever done to that point in your life? Do you remember what you filled out?
Craziest thing I've ever done. No, I don't know that one.
Cliff jumping.
Oh yeah, I did that one. Yeah, I would never go cliff jumping again.
What's the story on that?
I was in Yakima, Washington, and we were like on a like a 30-day road trip. I was playing with a Legion baseball team, and it's like I jumped off the cliff into the water, and I was like, I could barely swim back then too. I literally could barely swim, and they're like, Amir, you got to do it. I'm like, nah, like I'm good, bro. Like, and I jump off, and I almost drowned and stuff like that. Like a teammate had to come and get me and like pull me to the side, and I'm like, yeah, I'll never do that again.
I mean, how'd you even know how deep it was?
I did not know how deep it was. I just seen everybody doing it, and I wanted to be the cool guy. Like I couldn't be like, nah, bro, like I'm not doing that. So I was like, you know how to swim? I'm like, yeah, I know how to swim. I do not know how to swim that good. When I jump in, I'm like, I'm treading water, and I'm like, whoa. And like, luckily, a guy that came behind me was like, all right, let's go. Like, we're good. Like, I'm like, thank you. Like, I'm over there like, man, I'm never doing this again ever in my life.
How's your doggy paddle these days? Okay, better.
I mean, I can swim now. I can swim really good now. So,
right.
The doggy paddle back then, like, no, I was definitely going underwater, 100%. The guy didn't help me.
Put that fence around that pool in Vegas right now for your baby. You better do that now.
Oh yeah, for sure, 1,000%. We will.
That's just the dad in me talking a little bit. All right. You were talking about teammates, and if I'm get traded to a new team, I'm your boy for life. So you're saying that if you and Javy Baez got put on the same team, you'd be cool.
Yeah, of course. We'd have to be cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, TJ Antone's right over here. He's on our roommates. I've gotten to it with him. Like, we're still boys, though. You know what I mean? Like, I was ready to rip his head off. We're still boys, though. Like, yeah, right. I would never have lost to him. He said I would have lost, but we know that's a lie. I was ready to kick his ass at one point. But we're still boys, though. You know what I mean? But if we were on the same team, because obviously we're on the same team. But if me and Javy were on the same team, guess what? I'm going to ride for you. You know what I mean? Until you show me otherwise. You know what I mean? So that's just how it is.
Is that something that you would ever like to be? Because now you guys are back in the same division, right? He signed with the Tigers, and you're in the American League Central. So you guys are going to see each other a ton this year, 19 times. You guys are going to face each other again. Huh. Is it better that there's that friction, or would you like it if y'all just somewhere in the off season met up at the same party and talked it out?
I mean, we with the Javy situation, like this goes back to 17 when I was a rookie. He hit home run, pimped it, whatever. I'm cool with it. But all I did was get him back. You know what I mean? I got him back. I didn't. I could have, if we were playing by the old school rules, I could have hit him. He'd have been mad, ready to fight. But all I did was strike him out and show him up like how he did me. And it's a cycle. He hit a home run. He's barking around the bases. I strike him out and I bark at him. Like, if you can give it, you can take it. That's my biggest thing. And with Javy, he can't take it. And you know what I mean? That's just that's whatever kind of person he is. There's times like when we were in 2018, like he tags a teammate out, and he's like telling them like no, like you're out. Why can you do that and somebody can't show you up? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not fair. You know what I mean? And it's like if you can dish it, you got to take it sometimes. And everybody knows me. I dish it out, I take it. But if we get into an altercation, it's something else. It's not that I get upset that you have success against me. You know what I mean? It's not that. So, you know, I don't have any problems with him, but I'm going to remember the battles that we've had. And if you show me up, I'm going to show you up. Just take it, you know, and if you show me up, I'm cool, whatever. The last battle we had, he won off a sacrifice pop-up, and he did everything. But my thing is, like, you know how he did the road, the boat, whatever? People don't understand. We swept them, and I did that to them. You know what I mean? I did that to them. And it's like, yeah, he did it. He popped it up. You know, it's a sack fly, like perfect for you. Like you're going to score because there's two outfielders in the outfield. And he did it to me, and I had to eat that. And he went really extreme, which is okay, but I had to eat that, Chris. I had to eat that. Like, he made me look like a fool, and I was okay with that. But I'm going to remember that, though, for these next battles that we had this year. I'm going to remember that. So I just want people to know that, like, the last battle we had, he went to that extent of doing that. So if I do something, he cannot be upset. He cannot be upset. You know what I mean? And everything goes around in full circle. So, you know, I'm okay with it.
Sounds like Kansas City, Detroit's must-see TV to me.
It is, man. And, you know, it's all part of the game. You know, I really don't take a lot of things personal, to be honest. Like, I really don't care. Like I said, look, guess where I'm at? I'm in the big leagues. I was a 22nd rounder. Like, I picked baseball up at, you know, I start playing, you know, at 19. I didn't really start pitching until 22. I've made it. Like, I won. Like, I literally won. So I don't take things personal. I'm not supposed to be here right now at the level I'm at right now, pitching where I'm at. I'm not supposed to be here, you know? So I'm grateful for everything, every encounter, opportunity, every battle that I have. And, you know, I just embrace it because I don't know when this is going to be taken away from me again.
No time soon, I hope, because it is fun. I love watching it. All
Yes,
right, last
sir.
two things, kind of fun stuff here. We're going to play two truths and a lie. So
Okay.
I'm going to say three things, two of which are true about you, one of which is a lie. Don't worry, it all has to do with baseball. So you
All
don't
right, cool.
sweat.
Perfect.
I know you were like, oh my God.
I was like, what? I was like, Chris, what did you dig up?
No, come on, man. I wouldn't do you like that. I wouldn't do you
You're a
dirty.
good dude.
You know that.
You're a good dude.
Among catchers who have caught at least 10 innings that you have pitched, you have the lowest ERA when pitching to Curt Casali. That is one. Number two, Colton Wong has faced you more than any other batter in baseball. Number three, you have struck out Matt Carpenter more than any other player in the show. Which one is the lie?
I want to say the lie is the Colton Wong one. Is that the lie?
That is the lie.
Yeah, I know I've struck out Matt Carpenter like a bunch of times, and then
Yes.
I know that Curt Casali, when he was catching me, like, we were really good together. So
Yes, your ERA to Casali in 32 innings is 2.95.
Curt, come back to me, baby. Come back to me, Curt.
Hey.
Come back to me. I just called him yesterday too. That's crazy.
Yeah. He
It's funny.
I heard he's in really good shape. I was listening to the Giants broadcast the other day. I heard he really got.
Well, I mean, I would have to see it from my own eyes. I mean,
Okay.
Curt wasn't in bad shape, but I want to see what really good shape is.
Colton Wong, by the way, does not have the most plate appearances. He has 15 against
Carpenter, right? Or Carpenter or Rizzo. It has to be one of those two.
Josh Bell.
Oh, dang, really?
Yeah, he's got 20 plate appearances.
Okay.
And yes, you've struck out Matt Carpenter 7 times.
Jesus.
Yeah. Ready to spin the wheel of moderately interesting things?
Do it.
Stevie's wondering, talking about how you're very superstitious. What is your superstition in the baseball world?
I don't really have any superstitious. I'm not superstitious, really.
Do I need to change categories?
Yeah, change the categories. That one
All right, I'll give you a choice on the wheel. Wild Ride, Watch Out, Ring Chaser, or Toy Story?
Let's go Wild Ride.
What was your first car?
My first car was I want to say a 2011 Chevy Tahoe. I don't know why I got it. You know, my dad had one when I was a young kid, so I was like, "This is the best car ever, Dad! Like this is sick." And I actually have one right now as well. It's my dad's car, so I was like, you know, I'm like Chevy Tahoe, like that's my thing. Like I love a Chevy Tahoe.
Okay, yeah, it's familiar.
Yeah, and so it's, you know, it's a great car.
Hey, man, it was great catching up. It was great seeing you last week out in Arizona. I promise that you will at least remain on the Royals for another 24 hours.
All right, cool.
That,
I mean, you can't promise it, so it's all good.
I'm trying my best. Happy 8th month birthday to your beautiful daughter. Her name again?
Koa May.
Love it.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Chris.
So let's not be strangers. Let's catch up and do this again at some point during the season once you're settled in and all that sort of stuff. You good with that?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. This is fun. And say hi to the boys in the house there and go have fun doing whatever you do during spring training.
I will, Chris.
Right?
I appreciate you.
Special shout out to the one and only, our producer extraordinaire, Robbie Scirocco. I am Chris Rose. We will see you next time on the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media and presented to you by our good friends over at SeatGeek.